Welcome to another Will You Snail development live stream. Today we will get started on the underwater chapter. Disco chapter is finally done. Pretty excited. So first of all, if you have any ideas, any cool ideas for the underwater level, let me know, because we don't have a lot of levels yet, so there's still room for new ideas. And secondly, oops, I didn't really have a good idea for my costume today. I'm running out of ideas, so I thought, water level, which ideas do I have with water? And here's the best thing I could come up with here. I don't like it. Here, let's go. Now I feel very watery, and I'm ready to design some water levels. Let's go. The rest of the day I spent on fixing a couple of bugs and writing stories, so we definitely saved the exciting stuff for the live stream, which is cool. We have 2 underwater levels so far. First one is this, with all of these fish here. The other one is this one. And I've just created a little preset room that we can duplicate. Underwater, copy me, duplicate, and let's just create chapter C, level 1. Oh no, my keys are wet. That is not very good. Very smart, Jonas. That's what I call entertainment. Yeah, it's all for your entertainment. I'm trying, guys, I'm trying. So there are a couple of things I wonder about. For example, how does a normal spike level feel underwater? How do conveyor belts feel underwater? I think we can try combining this with a lot of things that we already have in-game. And if we can find ways to recombine that in interesting ways, then hopefully we don't need to create too much new content. But we'll definitely have to create a bit of new content for sure. Also, so a couple of new mechanics. I mean, levels are obviously content as well. Where's the stupid player layer? So this is definitely the first thing I'll try. Just to put in a normal spike AI here. Is AI level 1 just a normal spike AI? Yes. And let's rename it to spikes. And then let's duplicate that AI and let's call it more spikes, which is a very good name. I'm sure I will not be confused about this at all. Because obviously we want this level to be harder than the first level. Ha. He. Ha. Who. We even have a couple of enemies we haven't used in a single level yet. For example, those protectors. For some reason I just forgot about them. And they don't appear in any level so far. But I'm also not sure if they fit into the underwater chapter. Probably not. I probably need to save them for the winter chapter, but that's fine as well. Then I already have some content for the winter chapter. Hey yo, we have a lot of people in the stream, in chat today. Welcome, welcome everybody. Have I already made a water shader, or is still it in the works? We already have a water color scheme. I don't know if we need an extra shader for that. And I will not worry about the look right now. I'll just build a couple of levels. Because in terms of polishing, there's definitely a lot that still needs to be done. Not just in this chapter, but in the other chapters as well. There are a lot of things we still could improve. Just think it's probably a good idea to maybe finish this, and then we can worry about improvements. But yes, it should already look more or less like it's underwater. There are already a couple of bubbles whenever you jump. Death animation looks a little different underwater, and the movement is different underwater. That's probably the most important difference. And I hope that that alone will already make this level a bit interesting. Because you can basically almost float in here. Okay, let's just try this. We have created our first underwater level. Let's put it where it belongs. And I'll give it the very creative name Underwater Spikes. And I'll repeat it again. If you have any creative ideas for underwater mechanics levels, let me know. Still open for suggestions. Here is a professional game dev on his work. You like these streams so much. I feel very honored that you say that, because sometimes I seriously question my streaming skills. You know, the problem with streaming is you always have that little number that tells you the amount of viewers, and whenever that drops, you feel like you did something wrong. It's unbelievable how how much your happiness is attached to numbers like that sometimes. I wish I could turn it off. Okay, that feels very easy because...
Come on, that shouldn't be all that hard on normal difficulty. Why?
Ah, this is normal difficulty. That explains a lot. We obviously want...
Stupid.
Obviously we want to test this on Rage mode.
Very nice.
Still too easy. First of all, let's make sure it gets a little more difficult in the second half of the level by implementing a little difficulty switch here. Whenever the player touches that, the spawn rate of all of the obstacles will basically double. We have a relatively easy first half and a little bit of a harder second half. And one thing that would probably be cool to bring back into the game, because we actually haven't used that either so far, are cats. That we will probably reskin to something like mines, because... Or do you think underwater cats are a good idea? I mean, let's see how it looks, but I'm really not sure if we should do that. Okay, where's our AI that I called more spikes? Let's rename it to spikes and cats. Is there something like a cat probability? Air cat probability. Okay. So the cool thing about this is if we decide to change the sprite of the cats to something different, the variable will still be called air cat, and it will be super confusing. Isn't that awesome?
I got you.
That is a lot more...
OMG, why do you keep dying there?
That is a lot more cats than I expected. We shouldn't have that many cats. Let's do maybe 20% of that. Give them cat fins. What are cat fins? Let me Google that. I'm not sure if we're able to properly show that in the Will You Snail art style. Air cats underwater, yeah, it's getting a little crazy.
Would you be so kind and start moving? Now.
Would you be so kind and shut up? That would be very nice. Where's the music, by the way? Here it is. You think I should create a wavy underwater shader? I think that would look cool.
You've got to try harder than this.
I mean, we can definitely try that, because that does not sound very difficult. Giving this a slight wavy animation could definitely make this quite nice. Okay, so what will we do with those cats? I think I'll just change them to
This never gets old.
to something that is not a cat. Jesus. Still a little hard. Not exactly sure if the difficulty comes from the fact that there are so many traps to dodge, or from the fact that my movement is a lot more indirect than in the other levels.
Oh, what a desperate attempt.
Yeah, this feels a bit more fair. Almost made it there. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what. We'll give this a bit of a zoom, and we'll also give it waves, and we'll also change the cat sprites. We'll do everything. And then we'll move on to the next level, because we don't have a lot of time. Yeah, here, come on, start out with 100% zoom. And then go to 80 or whatever here, and to 70 here. And then for the wavy shader, let's create that really quick. Just have to have a look at the post-processing object, where a good point to implement that would be. That is not the post-processing object. This is the post-processing object. Here's probably the best place to implement that. Okay, let's duplicate that shader so we can combine it in one shader to save some performance. Shader curve, duplicate, and we'll call that shader curve underwater. And what shader curve usually does is color correction. And also this is the first time I'm writing shaders on stream. Interesting, interesting. So this is my color correction shader. And in theory, all we need to do is to offset the position where we read the texture from. So let's create a wave size variable. Let's create a time variable, and that should be all we need. Then we need a vector 2, which will determine the read position on our texture. Text pos equals ba ba ba. And now all we need to do is to offset that variable by a certain amount. So we'll do something like zine. Oh, something we also need is f wave strength. And we'll simply multiply that entire vector by the wave strength. And then in here we'll say what do we need in here? This sometimes requires some trial and error to get something that looks good. Textpos.x, for example. And then y. And then all of that multiplied by wave size, and that will be a very long, messy line. I know. I'm sure there's a mistake somewhere in here now, because no human alive can get that right the first time. Should probably split it up into multiple lines. But okay, let's try if it works. You would like an underwater shader as well, Brown Rice? That's cool. A low pass filter on the audio would be nice. I agree, but I don't know if GameMaker has anything like that. Would be easy in Unity. Not quite sure how to do that in GameMaker without replacing all of the sounds. And replacing all of the sounds is like something that sounds a little annoying to do. Okay, it should be relatively easy to implement that shader now. Because all we need to do is to check here. If instance exists, object level styler underwater. Or if it doesn't exist, then we'll use the normal color correct stuff right here. And otherwise, we'll use our new underwater shader. Dang it, now we need all of those variables. Uniform wave size. wave strength and time. Okay. Now we can set these variables. I wonder if this object already has a time variable. Yes, it has. That is very nice. Is that updated somewhere? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's update it then. Time plus plus counts time up by 1 every single frame. So now we should be able to set uniform time to time times 0.05 or something like that. I'm very curious to see how this looks. Implementing stuff like that can have pretty unexpected results most of the time. Wave strength definitely needs to be very low as well. Cos1 is already the size of the entire texture, and we obviously only want the offset to be a fraction of that. Okay. Oops. Wave size, I guess. I have no idea what a good value for that could be. Let's just give it a shot. And I don't expect much, but I expect at the least a bit of entertainment from the results of this shader. Which kind of collision do I use? I use GameMaker's standard collision system, which is object-based. I only have one exception for particles. For particles, I use a custom grid-based collision system because I found that's more efficient. When is the release date? There's no release date yet. I'll try to finish the game at the end of March, but that does not mean that it's already completely done. I'll keep working on it until I'm happy with it. And I have no idea how long that will take. You need to learn shaders better. Yes, you should. Shaders are awesome. So we have some compile errors somewhere in here. In case somebody knows how to write shaders, let me know if you see the mistake. That's one of the problems with shaders, is that debugging shaders is pretty painful. It just tells me there's a bug in line 19, but it doesn't tell me anything else. Ah, jeez. So guess what I'll try is just to remove this line and see if it works now, because that should definitely work. Don't see anything wrong with this. Okay, yeah, that compiles properly. So there's something wrong in my monster line, which is understandable. Let's break it down a little bit. Let's break it down into X offset and Y offset. Okay. That looks correct to me. So let's just see if it works now. Are shaders written in C#? No, they have their own language. But luckily it's not all that different than C#. Hey RB, welcome. He somehow seems to have a problem with this. So I'm pretty sure I'm getting some of the syntax wrong here, but oh no, that's not it. What the hell? I found it. See, debugging these is painful. I just didn't name the variable properly here. Had a different name. Sorry to ask, but what are you doing? I'm writing a shader for the underwater level. Oh, nice. And it's clearly not working. Do you see any waves? Any waves at all? That is a very strange result. Does that have anything to do with what we've coded here, though? This will take some trial and error to figure out. I apologize. But usually playing with shaders is quite fun.
Your opening bracket, not closing bracket, making humanity proud XD.
Yeah, seems like it had something to do with this, which is weird. Why? This should offset the read position. Okay, let's try something real quick. Just to see if this works in theory. Okay, that is something we should definitely be able to see. Oh, is it actually? Oh, it's off. Yeah, I can see the offset. As you can see, the screen is not quite in the correct place anymore. But why is it so much darker? That's the part that does absolutely make no sense to me. Like, see, now we can only see the very bottom corner of the screen. But why is everything so dark? Do we do another texture read somewhere in here? No. This is the only texture read, so I really don't understand. Okay. Let's remove color correction altogether and just return the color from our initial texture read. I'm really sorry, but as far as I know, that's the only way to debug shaders. I don't know a better don't know a better way to debug shaders. Yeah, now we have the correct colors. Yeah, that's something. For game devs, Udemy has good courses. Yeah, I think so. Does shader code run for every single vertice? No, even worse, it runs for every single pixel. Which works because it's highly...
Absolutely desperate.
What's the correct word in English? Parallelized, optimized, whatever. Okay. Can you see any waves? No, neither can I. So let's play with the parameters a bit. More time. Way more strength. Bigger wave size. Let's go. Okay. I figured it out. I even know why. That's such a stupid mistake. I set the parameters of the wrong shader. Yeah, okay, so now we will get a pretty unexpected result, probably. Okay, I expected something more interesting than this, but at the very least, this is something.
Yo, this is boring. Get going.
We have a screen that is moving up and down vertically. Okay. I hope this makes it a bit more interesting. Let's see if that is what we want. No. Oh, but I can... But it already looks a little squishy. Did you see that? So what if we do wave size 10? I want to see some actual transformation and stretching. Okay. We're getting there. We are getting there. What? What the hell? 25 people watching shader chaos. I mean, shaders are definitely interesting to play around with. So it's too strong at the moment. Clearly. Oh man, it makes me feel really dizzy.
Did you do that on purpose? Certainly looked like it.
It makes me feel really dizzy. Okay, so I think we're very close. Wave strength, maybe half. And then the animation speed, half. Let's try again. Use wave size 10 for final boss. Yeah, then you can't see anything. And everybody who plays the game will just vomit when they arrive at the final boss. Why did the music disappear again? I think something's bugged. Oops. Closed the game accidentally. Did I even implement save load for settings yet? I'm not even sure I did that. Yeah, I feel like this is somewhat reasonable. But I also feel like this should definitely be something that players can turn off if they don't like it. Do you think it's still too strong, or do you think it's okay? One thing we can try is to make the wave size, to change the wave size a bit. I'm not entirely sure in which direction. Had to stop in and say, keep up the awesome work, your content is awesome, never stop, thanks. Well, thank you for encouraging me. Okay, as you can see now, the waves are a lot smaller, which has some really weird, funny effects. Do you think this is better than the big wave shape, or is this worse? Definitely looks a bit weird. I think I'll change it back. Or maybe something in between. Maybe, what did we have before? 10? Maybe something like 20. So double of what we had before. Maybe that's a little easier on the eyes. I think it looks cool. Well, now I don't know which one you set that to. We had that problem before on stream, didn't we? Maybe without the camera zoom. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I think this is a nice size for the waves. What we can try is reducing the strength a bit further, so it's barely noticeable. Like, we don't need, there's no need to overdo this effect. See, something like that still makes you feel like you're underwater, and it's a lot weaker.
This is boring. Get going.
Yeah, I think this is actually what we were looking for, right? One thing we could try is also to change the shape of the waves a little bit. We need to start giving all of these attempts different numbers, so you can tell me which number or which version you liked, because I always read your messages too late. Perfect. When did you say that? I didn't see it, and although that, I can't tell due to stream delay. So one thing we can try here, for example, is adding the y component to the equation. Don't you need to add color correction back in? Oh, you're right. See, now the waves have a little bit of a tilty effect that tilts everything a little bit. But I'm not sure I like that. I think the version before that was better. Let's call this version version 5, and let's say the one before was version 4. I like version 4 better, because now we have these weird anti-aliasing artifacts. Let's revert that. Beep, 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 beep. And you're absolutely right, I need to add color correction back in. Thanks for reminding me. And that should work without any problems now. You like the tilty effect? Well, did you have a close look at all of the anti-aliasing problems it caused? Not sure if you can see that on stream, but it doesn't look pretty. Okay. Wowie, this looks pretty cool now, doesn't it? I really like it. And I 100% agree that the sound should be a lot different underwater. I hope we'll find a way to add some damping to this without re-recording all of the sound effects. Okay, but for... Oh no! So close! For now, let's focus on creating more levels, more content.
Well, took you long enough.
Took you long enough. Shut up. Let's create the next level. Cool. Level 1 from 1 of 15 complete. What else can we do with underwater stuff? Let's try conveyor belts and stuff like that. Let's see how that feels. One thing I thought would be cool is also a racing level where you have to race the AI. Maybe you have to race a fish or maybe another snail. And that is also something that would probably work quite well with the underwater mechanics. Underwater conveyor. Let's make this level a little bigger for once. So the player can start down there and climb up. Or maybe we can introduce the underwater currents in that level. They are already up and running. And they are probably an interesting addition to this. I wanted to change the cat sprite. Oh, you're right. Thanks for reminding me. I didn't even notice that anymore. What should we change it to, though? Should we just change it into a boring mine? Or should we change it into something cool? But maybe a boring mine is the best solution. Could very well be the case. What is the particle system you're using? Which particle system are you talking about? The particles when the player dies, or the bubbles? I need more information for that question. There should be more bubbles. Yes, there should be more bubbles. I know. Okay, so underwater currents or conveyor belts? I think I'll go for underwater currents. Because who the hell uses conveyor belts underwater? But we've gotta try that as well. To be honest, I don't even know if that mechanic works underwater. But we'll see. Okay, nobody will go over here. We can just block this area out as well. And which AI do we have here? Let's at the very least get the same as in the last one, which was spikes and cats, and then we'll change the cats into boring mines and see how that feels. No, I'm really not sure what I want to change it into, but let's just try it out and see how it looks in game. You wanna close this? No. No, not really. What's the best layer? No, I'm not looking for the sprite. Where's the object? Here. Okay. Oh dang, they're small. Do they need to be that small? Oh, let's have a look at the other underwater levels I prototyped. Oh yeah, they actually stay at this size. Makes sense. Probably shouldn't mess with them too much. So here we'll have some underwater currents going up. And then if you want to go the shortcut, then you'll have to fight a couple of underwater currents that don't go into your direction. I think that sounds fair. Maybe a bit of chaos over here. And a bit of chaos here. Let's see how that plays. A custom one or an engine-made one. I'm using the GameMaker particle system for the most part, with a couple of exceptions. The death particles are a mixture of something I made myself and an engine particle system. Leave me alone. I want to test the underwater currents. So that definitely... sometimes it feels weird. Sometimes you get really weirdly fast. What the hell is that speed? Okay, let's replace the cats with something else before we forget about it. Mine. How should a will you snail underwater mine look like? Probably somewhat like this. Just hope I'll be able to create a symmetrical version. No. That looks about right. And now we can click remove color. And then we will be able to see the power of my post-processing shaders again, because this once again looks probably pretty stupid when you look at it like this, but in game it will look okay. I hope. Well, that doesn't really look like spikes. Let's just do a couple of one spike on every side. That is not a nice spike. Yeah, something like that. Let's try it out. Mine, and then we also need a warning animation when that mine is created. Oh, and we also need to check the collider of this real quick. That is not a good collider shape. This is a good collider shape. If you're wondering why I'm using a square, the answer is because nobody will be able to tell and it performs better. Dip, 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 dip. And now for the warning. Be really cool. If we could do something like this. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how that looks. Now let's create our cat object in traps, cat warning. I don't even want to bother renaming that because I already know that will cause issues. Let's just give it a different sprite. Not a new sprite. Stop it. Traps. Where the hell is the sprite? We have too many images in this game already. Here, mine. Oh, gave it the wrong one, of course. Traps, not in traps. I mean, here, mine. This one needs sprite mine warning though. And now we should be able to test it out. Let's go. Question for everyone, do you use multiple game engines or do you tend to stick to one and learn that one really well? I mean, I have GameMaker and Unity and I kind of like both. I think I'll keep using both. I'll definitely use Unity from now on for bigger game projects. I think it probably makes more sense to learn one game engine really well. Okay, what do you think about those mines? Do they look better than cats? They feel a little small, don't they? As I'm not sure about these spikes, maybe I'll turn them into squares. Very nice. Still somehow looks a little unsymmetrical. How do you create post-processing system for this game? Shaders is the answer. It's basically just a bit of bloom and color correction, and now in this chapter it's also this slight wavy effect that we just implemented. Okay, I kinda like the mines now. Only thing that's irritating, a little irritating, is that they are not animated. That should be fixable. So one thing I want to try is to make these antennas here flicker a little bit. Yeah, we can, oops, make it look like it has some buttons here that are lighting up or something like that. Okay, let's see if this looks more intimidating. Fishes? Yeah, we already have fishes. You wanna see fishes? So this is the correct animation speed, but it clearly did not have that. Let's check. Cat warning, do we change the animation speed somewhere here? Image speed. So in theory it should have the original speed. Let's check again. Looks cool. Once again, I have no idea what you're referring to, but I still appreciate it. I don't know. Something's strange about these sprites. I think it's probably a good decision that there are no cats. Something about this doesn't quite feel right either. Okay, but maybe we shouldn't waste too much time on this. Maybe we should just move on to the next level. I think what might be a little irritating in this level is that the objects you need to dodge are all blue as well. I also feel like the shape of the mine, something about that feels off. Let's not get too hung up on this, he said, and tried to fix the sprite one more time. Maybe it needs to be a bit simpler. Last attempt. Color to sprite. And let's try changing the colors a bit. The problem is that, as you can see, I design all of the sprites basically in grayscale and then color them in Engine, which is pretty useful because then I can use them in all worlds and they simply change their colors to fit into the new color scheme, into the new setting. But we can obviously still give them multiple different colors if we want. It's just a little more effort because we need to paint that on different sprites then. But what we should try first is manager, underwater, starting a little color crisis. Here, at the moment, the traps have the exact same color as everything else, more or less. Let's just make color HSV. Dang it, what is blue in hue? No idea. Let's find out by trial and error. We don't even want blue. What the hell am I saying? I want something orange, which should have a hue somewhere around 40. I'm already dry again. Isn't that awesome? I know. Okay, that is already pretty yellow. I think it definitely makes sense to give that a different color. It's just not the right color yet. That goes somewhat okay together with that blue. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Let's see if there's an easy way to make the mines a bit bigger. I think that could definitely help their look. That looks a bit ugly. But who cares? Let's test it out. And if it looks better, we can fix it. Didn't I just say I don't want to get too hung up on this? Well, here we go. Yeah, the bigger ones look definitely better. Or would you like to disagree with me? The old ones were a bit too small. Okay, just for the sake of me being interested what happens, let's put in some conveyor belts. I'm sure it will not work, but let's try it. Walls, 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 walls. Can't see anything here. Okay. I guess they do work. They're just a little faster than usual. A little bit faster. Interesting. Okay. Glad we tried that. Maybe we should add in a new enemy here. We already have... Oh, how there? Jellyfish. We already have jellyfish. Maybe it's a little boring if two levels right after each other have the same kind of enemy to dodge, even if they're a little different, have a little bit of a different gimmick in there. Probably be cool to have a different obstacle here. And then we can do something like this maybe later. We want to keep it interesting. So let's replace this AI with an AI that does absolutely nothing. And let's not look in the sprites folder, but in the objects folder. Now, the jellyfish is definitely one of my absolute favorite enemies, because they are so beautifully annoying. Okay, trust me, that will be difficult enough. You think I should give them the same color as the evil AI? That is more of a purple though. I already hate that jellyfish so much. I mean, we can definitely try giving them the same color. Let's try that. That shouldn't be too hard. Underwater. Because I already have the color right here. Let's just copy it in and then we'll see how it looks if it has the same color. I think from the voice lines and the context and the storytelling of the rest of the game, it should definitely be possible to tell that the obstacles are coming from that AI phase. I'm not too concerned about that, but you're right, we should try it out.
Can you hear me? Jump to say yes. Alright, try to give me a challenge, will you?
Already have quite a bunch of levels. Are we here already? Yes, now we are.
Very nice. The simulation is running in rage mode. I love rage mode. It makes people rage.
So now they have the same color as the AI guy.
OMG, why do you keep dying there?
You think that's better?
Lol, I got you.
We already also have a slightly different tone we could try. Here, number 2. Oh yeah, that one looks actually even a bit better.
You've got to try harder than this.
You like that one, RB? Did we start another color crisis? I feel like this tone fits in a little better. But also blue and orange just goes together quite well. Let's compare.
This never gets old.
Even though that's still more of a yellow. Can't we get decent orange? You like the blue one the best? Maybe we can give that a shot again as well. Maybe we don't need any colored stuff underwater. I really like this orange as well though. Let's call this version A. Okay, this is version A. If you vote for version A, then you can post an A. And then let's say here the purple one is version B. Yeah, we can already see that one doesn't
Not even close.
quite work as well as the last one. And version C is the original one.
Your opening bracket, not closing bracket, making humanity proud XD.
I feel like one thing we could try with the blue one is to make it a bit brighter. Color Crisis, okay, you're all for A, but you haven't looked at version X yet. This is version X with a brighter blue. I actually think this is even better. How did I name that version? X, right? Yeah. Vote for X now. I think it makes the traps a little more visible. Or am I just biased because it's new?
Make humans great again.
We definitely need a racing level. I feel like speedrunning these underwater levels is pretty fun. We should force players to do that. Because you can keep momentum in pretty nice ways.
Well, took you long enough.
Okay, you all agree with me. Perfect! Nice, resolved color crisis. Are you going to any game developer conferences? No. That is not planned at the moment. But I'll let you know when I do. I'd definitely love to meet some of you live in person. That would be awesome. Dip. No, just not sure if it would be worth it right now with an audience that is still relatively small. I think I would, if I'm lucky, I would meet maybe one person, and I'm not that much into traveling, so that's not really worth it for me. Also, maybe on top of that, I'm a little scared. I'm a shy person. This one was really annoying. I just want to get out of here without getting killed right away. Thank you. So, yeah, these sprites are one of the only ones that are already colored because one of you sent me the sprite. Not sure if we can keep it though.
Absolutely desperate. What a shame. like it.
Something is definitely wrong about those underwater currents. I'm not quite sure what it is. Maybe we can add some damping. Let's see. Where are they? Or where's the movement script? Scripts, movement, move like a snail. So that is the entire movement script of the snail, and somewhere in here should be the underwater currents. Current, yeah, here we are. Okay. So what happens if we add some additional damping in here? Does that feel weird? Probably. But I think it's pretty important to get movement stuff right. You definitely don't want anything related with the movement to feel weird. Oh, actually it's not as bad as I expected. Maybe we'll just do that for the vertical speed though, and compensate that by increasing the acceleration you get from these underwater currents a little bit. Because now it shouldn't be possible to get crazy fast like before. Yeah, it feels better now. Because what we had before almost felt like glitching to the top of the level. Oh, did I make it? Jeez. I made it. Awesome. Oopsie doopsie, I skipped to the next level. I wanted to replay it. And here these fish, they're still a little bugged. Not sure if I can show you. Sometimes they get stuck in places where they're not supposed to get stuck. They don't stay in their lane, even though they're supposed to stay in their lane. And also, this level is pretty much impossible. Like most of the levels in Will You Snail. Okay, whatever. I'm getting hungry. I think I'll actually call it a day. If you have any more oopsie doopsie questions or suggestions you would like to discuss with me right now, please post them in the chat. I'll be reading chat for a couple more minutes. And then we'll just call it quits. Seemed like you enjoyed the stream today, and seems like my voice did not enjoy the stream, because it's already leaving me again. So definitely perfect time to stop. I'm kind of missing the wave effect here now. It's funny how that works. Let's just play some of my favorite levels real quick. Oh yeah. That is a likey one.
Very nice.
Okay, it's not a likey one.
In rage mode. I love rage mode. It makes people rage.
It makes people rage.
Lol, I got you.
Where did I hide the text file here? Oh, here. It's incredible how much more satisfying these puzzles got when I added sound effects. Greetings from Hanau. Oh, nice. Fishes need bubbles around them. Because they can't breathe underwater, right? They need air bubbles. That makes sense. No, I know what you mean. You mean they should spawn a couple of bubbles. And I agree. But I'll have to check out how many bubbles we can create without running into performance issues. I think we should try not to overdo it too much with the bubbles. Oh yeah, that level is really cool as well. I wonder how people will solve this. Because I think I figured out the perfect solution. You just shoot in the other direction. Because see, if you shoot in that direction,
You've got to try harder than this.
you destroy the platform and get killed. Uh-oh. No! Ah, I hate this level. I actually really like it. Oh my god, I like this level. This is...
This never gets old.
Die, drones! Die, 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 die! Oh my god, that was a...
What? How did you do that so quickly?
That was a really good run. That was a really good run. Okay. Okay. Shooting level, my favorite. Yes, I like the shooting levels as well. I'm excited for underwater shooting levels because we'll definitely have that as well. And that will be with slightly varied shooting mechanics, of course, because shooting underwater maybe is a little slower. Should be cool. Should feel quite different and unique and interesting. Game reminds you of Jumpman JR? I don't know that. Let's type it into Google and see what we find. Ah, one of those really old retro games. Interesting. Why does it remind you of that? Very old Commodore 64 game, was awesome. Alright. Gotta grab some food now. Thanks you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And see you with another live stream on Monday and with an awesome video upload tomorrow. Okay, peace.